The story opens with Hayino Cheyenne on a day that, without her knowing it, is going to change her life. At that age, she is a shy, quiet, and very insecure student, the kind who tries to go unnoticed so she does not draw attention. She usually goes to school in simple clothes, with her hair not very styled, and big glasses that have become part of her shield. But that morning she decides to do something different. She carefully styles her hair, fixes herself up a little more than usual, and leaves with a trembling determination, as if she were gathering the strength to jump across an abyss. At home, her family notices the change instantly. Her mother is surprised, asks her if there is something special, and jokes about how dressed up she looks. Cheyenne gets nervous, downplays the matter, and tries to leave quickly. Her father also senses that something strange is going on and pressures her with questions. Cheyenne does not want to tell them anything, because what she is about to do makes her feel as embarrassed as it does excited. So, to avoid giving herself away, she practically runs out toward school, with her heart racing. The reason is simple and huge for her. She plans to confess her feelings to Hasegawa Soma, the boy who has been occupying her mind for years. In her mind, Soma is the perfect image of the hero who once helped her when she was trapped by teasing and everyday mistreatment. Cheyenne fell in love with him because of a protective gesture, because of that feeling that, at least once, someone saw her and defended her. Since then, she admired him in silence, watching him from afar, without daring to dream too much. When she arrives at the meeting point, anxiety crushes her. She waits with cold hands, going over what she wants to say 1,000 times. Deep down, she feels she is not ready, that it would be better to run away. But time passes and that forces her to stay. When Soma finally appears, he asks why she wanted to talk to him. Cheyenne swallows hard, forces herself not to back down, and with the most fragile courage in the world, throws herself into it. She confesses that she likes him, that she has liked him for a long time. And that is when the fall comes. Instead of receiving a kind or at least respectful answer, Cheyenne runs into a cruel rejection. Soma not only rejects her, he mocks her appearance and her way of being, as if her confession were a joke. He tells her she should look in the mirror before saying something like that, and finishes by attacking the very detail that hurts her the most: her glasses. He makes her feel ridiculous, as if she had no right to have hopes. For Cheyenne, those words are not a simple no. They are a humiliation that leaves her mind blank and her body frozen. From that moment on, love becomes synonymous with shame for her. She feels as if the ground disappears, as if all the time she admired him was a fantasy, and as if her courage was punished in the worst way. Although on the outside she tries to hold herself together, something breaks inside her, and that break changes her entire path. As time passes, the wound does not close the way it should. Cheyenne becomes more withdrawn, avoids exposing herself, and little by little decides to lock herself away in her own world. Her fear of being rejected again turns into a silent rule. Better not to risk anything, better not to be liked by anyone, better not to try. The isolation grows so much that, for years, she even avoids going out naturally and focuses only on finishing her studies, as if love were no longer an available part of her life. But the story does not leave her stuck in sadness forever. Over time, Cheyenne begins to channel the pain into something she can control: her image. She discovers makeup not as a whim, but as a tool to rebuild herself. She learns techniques, tries styles, studies skin, colors, hairstyles, and what at first was only a patch turns into a calling. Cheyenne does not become another person overnight. She becomes someone who understands her worth through self-care. And that slow, hard-earned transformation eventually bears fruit. 12 years later, Cheyenne reappears as a 29-year-old woman, strong, independent, and outwardly confident. She is now a recognized beauty consultant. She walks with a presence that draws attention, moves with confidence, and seems to have her life figured out. People admire her, many see her as a role model, and her work gives her a powerful identity. However, there is one detail that no one can see at first glance. Her heart is still marked. Her teenage trauma did not disappear. It only stayed hidden behind an impeccable appearance. That is why, even though her image is imposing, Cheyenne avoids men and locks romance away. She does not allow herself to get excited, she does not allow herself to fall in love, and every invitation to a date sounds like a risk to her. She repeats to herself that she has no time, that she is busy with work, that love is not necessary. But the truth is that she is afraid of feeling the same shame from that day at school again. The idea that someone might discover what she was like before, or look at her behind the makeup, still terrifies her. Her best friend, Akiyama Mitsuki, notices it. Mitsuki truly cares about her and worries when she sees her so closed off. She reminds her that she is approaching 30 and has never had a relationship, trying to shake her gently with affection. Cheyenne defends herself with excuses. Work, a full schedule, priorities. Mitsuki does not buy that version. She understands that Cheyenne is still trapped in the same emotional place and pushes her to face the origin of the problem. Her first love and the rejection that left her broken. That conversation stirs things up. When Mitsuki leaves, Cheyenne is left alone and her mind travels back to the past, remembering the exact moment she fell in love with Soma. Back then, she was the quiet girl her classmates used like a doormat. They left her tasks that were not hers, pressured her, made her feel small. Soma appeared one day and defended her, and for Cheyenne that act turned him into a savior. She clung to that image for years, never imagining that the same boy, when he received a sincere confession, could be so hurtful. That night, Mitsuki invites her out, and Cheyenne accepts, thinking it will be something calm. But when she arrives, she finds a surprise. Mitsuki has dragged her into a blind group date. There are several young people, an atmosphere of, let's see who you connect with, and Cheyenne feels trapped. Mitsuki insists that she at least try, that she not leave without sitting down. Cheyenne, uncomfortable, decides to endure it. There, a guy approaches her, talks to her, and shows interest. He is surprised when he discovers that Cheyenne has never had a relationship. He tells her she is very attractive and that anyone would notice her. For a moment, Cheyenne feels treated with respect, almost with tenderness, and that lowers her guard. When the gathering ends, the guy asks for her number. Cheyenne hesitates, but decides to give herself a second chance and gives it to him. In the middle of the farewell, Cheyenne notices a shy girl who seems to want to tell her something. The girl's gaze transmits nervousness, as if she were on the verge of collapsing. Cheyenne tries to approach her and even invites her to join them for another drink, but the girl runs away. The guy, instead of worrying, makes an ugly comment and mocks her appearance, saying she probably runs away because she knows she is unattractive and does not want to expose herself. That comment strikes Cheyenne in a deep place. It is not just a lack of empathy. It is the same kind of cruelty with which Soma destroyed her in the past. And in that instant, the trauma activates as if time had not passed. Anger rises in her, her throat tightens, and the need to defend that girl becomes something personal. Cheyenne confronts the guy and makes it clear that he has no right to talk about anyone that way. Mitsuki tries to calm her down, but Cheyenne is too shaken and ends up escaping the place. Mitsuki catches up with her outside and asks what happened. Cheyenne breaks down. She finally admits that she is terrified of being rejected again, that she does not trust that anyone will truly accept her, and that makeup did not erase her fear. It only covered it. She confesses that she is scared someone will see old photos and expose her as she used to be, and that all her effort to rebuild herself will collapse in a second. Mitsuki is shocked, because she understands the magnitude of her friend's pain. Cheyenne arrives home still upset. She throws her bag down, breathes with difficulty, and in that chaos an old photo falls to the floor. Her, Mitsuki, and Soma in high school. Seeing her face revives everything. Furious with herself for not being able to forget him, she tears the photo into pieces with the idea of closing that chapter. But what happens is the opposite. The instant the photo breaks, a bright portal opens in front of her. Cheyenne has no time to react. A force absorbs her and, in seconds, sends her straight to the past. Suddenly, Cheyenne appears once again in her old school, on the exact day that photo was taken. She thinks it is a nightmare. She sees the classroom, the uniforms, the atmosphere of another time. She sees Soma there, alive in that time, as if the years had never passed. Cheyenne panics, screams, and her mind tries to explain the impossible. Then the next day, she wakes up thinking it was all a dream, until she sees her old room, her old things, and worst of all for her, the glasses she hated. Her mother appears, younger, and rushes her because she is late. That is when Cheyenne understands she is not dreaming. She really traveled to the year 2010. At first, desperation consumes her. She tries to look for the way to return to the present, tests ideas, wonders if her room is a portal, and even asks her mother if there are strange backgrounds in the family. She finds nothing. Then she decides something else. If she is already trapped there, she will take advantage of it. And with the experience of her 29 years, she does the first thing she knows how to do best. She transforms herself on the outside, but this time with intention. She changes her look, puts on contact lenses, lets her hair down, applies subtle makeup, and dresses in a more flattering way. She goes to school and leaves everyone confused. Her classmates do not recognize her at first. Mitsuki takes a while to understand that this attractive girl is Cheyenne. Cheyenne gets nervous from so many stares, but tries to stay calm. The most surprising thing is that Soma does recognize her instantly. He does not seem confused, and even makes comments that throw her off. He says she is still herself, only that before she used to style herself strangely. He even compliments her, pointing out that she has pretty features. For Cheyenne, that shock is enormous, because the version she kept in her memory was one of cruel rejection. But in this time, Soma seems different. Or perhaps she never saw him completely. Mitsuki asks him how he could recognize her with such a big change. Soma responds as if it were obvious. To him, Cheyenne has not changed that much. She was always pretty, she only used to hide behind clothes and glasses. That comment causes Cheyenne a mixture of embarrassment and confusion. If Soma thought that, then, why did he humiliate her that way in the future? What happened for the story to end so badly? That doubt follows her. Later, Cheyenne gets distracted while walking, trips, and almost falls. Soma holds her in time, and the contact confirms to her that this is real. Cheyenne, still shaken, asks him what year it is, and he confirms that it is 2010, even showing her his old phone. Cheyenne understands that she has a strange opportunity in front of her, to live those days again, but with the adult mind she did not have before. However, she also understands the risk. Every decision can change things. In her attempt to find an explanation, Cheyenne tells Mitsuki, in a disguised way, that she is writing a story about time travel. Mitsuki becomes interested and tells her she knows a girl who knows about the subject, a classmate named Ito Kaoru. That lights up a hope in Cheyenne. If Kaoru understands those things, maybe she can help her return to the present. Cheyenne goes to the library and searches for books, theories, any clue, but she finds no clear answers. In the middle of that search, Cheyenne witnesses a scene that leaves her frozen. A girl confesses to Soma, and he rejects her harshly, criticizing her makeup and her skin. It is a blow, because Cheyenne recognizes the pattern. Soma knows how to be cruel when he rejects someone. But this time, the girl does not remain destroyed. She reacts, slaps him, and leaves. Cheyenne, outraged, decides to intervene. She confronts him, asking him why he has to be so hurtful to someone who gathered the courage to confess. Soma tries to justify himself by saying he does it so the girls will forget him quickly, so they will hate him and not keep getting their hopes up. Cheyenne does not accept that logic. She presses him, and he ends up explaining something deeper. In the past, a girl pursued him a lot. He, out of exhaustion, agreed to go out with her even though he did not feel the same, and in the end he hurt her when he left her. Since then, he decided to be harsh to not repeat it and to cut things off at the root. Cheyenne responds that this does not authorize him to leave traumas that last for years. She tells him firmly that words can mark lives. And after throwing that truth at him, she goes off to look for the hurt girl to help her. She offers her support and even makeup advice, not to change her, but so she can regain confidence. That gesture impacts Soma. Later, he waits for her and tells her he understood the point, that he should apologize to the girl he hurt. Little by little, the relationship between Cheyenne and Soma changes unexpectedly. They talk more, become more natural with each other, and even tease each other playfully. Soma notices that Cheyenne is different. More active, more sociable, more smiling. That embarrasses her, because she feels that her real self is the 29-year-old one, not the 17-year-old one, and she fears everything might get out of control. Along the way, Cheyenne discovers something that unsettles her deeply. Mitsuki and Soma are neighbors and childhood friends. They are so close that they sometimes have sleepovers. Cheyenne begins to suspect that Mitsuki is in love with Soma. The doubt grows when she sees a notebook of Mitsuki's full of photos of both of them with hearts and affectionate phrases. Although Cheyenne loves Mitsuki, the fear of being the third one activates in her. She pulls away, feels like an obstacle, and convinces herself that the best thing is not to get involved. But the school camp arrives, and everything intensifies there. Cheyenne remembers that in her original timeline she had a bad time, felt alone, and Soma avoided her. This time, however, when Mitsuki suggests that Soma go with Cheyenne to collect firewood, he accepts without hesitation. That change throws her off. When they are alone, Soma tells her that he wanted to be alone with her. Then he disguises it as a joke, but Cheyenne gets angry because she feels that her emotions are not a game. Even so, the closeness continues. They play cards, laugh, hold hands, run together, share moments that did not exist in her memory. Mitsuki, on the other hand, begins to feel jealous. Kaoru calls her and thanks her for an amulet to make Soma become interested in Cheyenne, implying that Mitsuki asked her for magical help. That revelation leaves Mitsuki confused, because at first she wanted to help Cheyenne, but now it hurts her to see Soma moving away from her. Kaoru, for her part, becomes obsessed with the fact that her curse is not working as she expected, suggesting that real magic is involved behind everything. On one night of the camp, Cheyenne and Soma light fireworks. Cheyenne feels happy, but also guilty. She remembers that in the original timeline she experienced that moment with Mitsuki. The guilt breaks her, and she ends up crying. Soma asks how he can help her, and Cheyenne, in a vulnerable moment, asks him for a hug. He hugs her, and that gesture stays engraved as something too real to be a coincidence. The next day, Cheyenne accompanies a classmate who wants to confess, and discovers that the boy she likes is Soma. In the middle of that situation, Cheyenne hears Mitsuki inside the cabin confessing to Soma that she is in love with him. Soma answers that what he felt for her belongs to the past, and that Mitsuki was the one who rejected him before. He also admits that he pulled away because Mitsuki kept pushing him toward Cheyenne, and he did not want to get in the middle. Cheyenne is devastated, not because of petty jealousy, but because of the feeling of having been dragged into a story she does not fully understand. Mitsuki comes out crying, sees Cheyenne, and explodes. She yells at her not to bother her and tells her that Cheyenne never wanted her to be happy. It is a very hard blow because Cheyenne loves her, and that accusation feels unfair. There, the story shows Mitsuki's past, a girl raised with money but without affection, who clung to any affection as if it were oxygen. Soma was someone similar, and that is why they grew close. Mitsuki fell in love, but rejected him when he confessed because she feared losing their friendship. And then Cheyenne entered her life when she defended her from a humiliation, becoming her best friend. In an attempt to protect the friendship, Cheyenne and Mitsuki made a pact. Both would confess their feelings to Soma, and whoever was rejected would accept it without holding resentment. But the story twists when Mitsuki is the one rejected. Then Cheyenne's turn comes, and just when Soma is about to answer her, Kaoru intervenes with magic. A strange light, a portal, and Cheyenne is dragged away before hearing the answer. Cheyenne begins to believe that the confession and Soma's answer are the key that returns her to her time, so she gets scared and prevents him from speaking, leaving him confused. Back at school, Cheyenne constantly avoids Soma so she does not activate the return. Cornered by the weight of the secret, she decides to tell Kaoru the truth, and Kaoru confirms that this seems like a parallel universe and that, if Cheyenne returns to her reality, she could lose everything. Kaoru also suggests that starting a relationship with Soma could be the key to going back. Cheyenne, with that pressure on her, tries to act normal, but rumors grow. One day, feeling overwhelmed by questions, she shouts in front of everyone that she does not like Soma. Soma hears it, becomes sad, and leaves. Cheyenne regrets it instantly, but it is already too late. Then finally, Cheyenne tells Mitsuki the whole truth. The time travel, the curse, the fear. Mitsuki believes her, and together they go to confront Kaoru. Kaoru admits that she cast a spell so Cheyenne's confession would fail. Mitsuki is disappointed and breaks things off with Kaoru. Then she recommends that Cheyenne tell Soma everything so he can understand. When Cheyenne does, Soma believes her without hesitation, and that brings them even closer. The romantic tension grows. A classmate tries to get close to Cheyenne, and Soma reacts with jealousy. He makes it clear that, without a formal relationship, others will keep hovering around. Soma tries to kiss her. Cheyenne gets scared and pushes him away, and he leaves upset. But Cheyenne runs after him, dares herself, and kisses him. She expects to return to the present, and nothing happens. That proves to her that it is not that simple. Soma, calmer, truly kisses her, and both of them are caught in a mixture of excitement and fear. Mitsuki is happy for her and sets up a double date. For the first time, everything seems light. But Kaoru reappears and tells Cheyenne that she found the way to return her to her world. Break the spell, confess again, and let Soma confess his feelings. Cheyenne hesitates, because she has already grown attached to that reality where, at last, she feels loved. Kaoru warns her that Cheyenne is altering everyone's lives. Even Soma changes important decisions, like studying abroad, just to stay close to her. Cheyenne becomes frightened because she understands that she is rewriting other people's destinies. With a heavy heart, Cheyenne decides to do the right thing. She goes to confess again to activate the return, but Soma, more perceptive, understands that she is doing it to return to the future, not out of pure choice. He asks her for time, confused and hurt. Mitsuki hears and reveals that she knows Cheyenne plans to go back. Cheyenne feels guilty, because deep down she loves those young versions of her friends, but she also misses her real family and her adult life. Cheyenne finally confesses the complete truth to Soma. She does not belong in that place. Soma, although it hurts him, accepts her decision and asks her for one last day together. Cheyenne says goodbye to her classmates with small gestures, shares makeup, leaves memories. Soma, refusing to give up, looks for Kaoru and discovers that she acted out of resentment. She hated Cheyenne because Mitsuki distanced herself from her because of Cheyenne. Soma, desperate, thinks the cursed photo is the origin and decides to tear it apart. The portal opens again, but this time it drags Cheyenne, Soma, and Mitsuki into the past, to the day of the photo. Soma believes that this way Cheyenne will be able to stay forever, but Cheyenne understands something huge. Her pain also built her. Even the humiliation that destroyed her was the spark that pushed her to become the strong 29-year-old woman she is. If she changes the past too much, she could erase the Cheyenne who learned to love herself. That is why, even though it hurts, she asks Mitsuki to go with Kaoru and redo the spell. Soma feels guilty for his selfishness and understands that love also means letting go. Cheyenne says goodbye to her young parents, to Mitsuki, and lastly, has one final date with Soma. She thanks him for giving her a happier youth and asks him to look for her when she returns to her world. Soma accepts through tears. Then the cycle closes. Cheyenne confesses, Soma responds by accepting her, and in that instant Cheyenne begins to disappear and returns to the present, right to the moment when she tore the photo in her house. Back in her reality, Cheyenne apologizes to Mitsuki for the fight before the trip. Then she tries to look for Soma, but discovers that she no longer has contact with his circle. Mitsuki organizes a picnic to reunite old friends. Cheyenne, with her heart tight, goes to the place where she remembers confessing her feelings in the past. And there, as if destiny still remembered, Soma appears. He feels that he had to go, without knowing why. Cheyenne explains to him that they were not dreams. What they lived really happened. Soma believes her. Cheyenne confesses that she will always love him, and he answers the same. Then they move closer and kiss, finally closing a story that took more than a decade to find its place. Already in the present, Cheyenne also understands something she did not want to accept before. Her teenage rejection did not only scare her, it also stole years of experiences from her. When she returns to her apartment, she looks at her life with different eyes. Her work as a beauty consultant is going well, but many of her routines were built around not taking risks. Work, home, clients, home. She knows how to raise other women's self-esteem, but she was still denying herself the possibility of being loved unconditionally. That is why, besides apologizing to Mitsuki, she decides to calmly tell her what she felt on that journey. The strange happiness of being young again, the fear of altering destiny, and the guilt of having borrowed another version of her life. Mitsuki, who has always been direct, makes her see that the problem was never the glasses or the clothes. The problem was the cruelty with which someone made her feel small. Cheyenne finally understands that her value does not depend on looking perfect, and that makeup does not have to be armor, but one more resource. She also notices that the trip taught her something about Soma, that he was not a cartoon villain, but a clumsy teenager, burdened with guilt and bad decisions. That does not erase the damage, but it does allow her to look at the past without the same anger and open space for a real conversation if destiny crosses them again. That is why, when Mitsuki proposes a picnic to reunite the group, Cheyenne accepts even though her hands tremble. She does not go because of nostalgia. She goes because she feels that, if the universe gave her a second chance, she cannot hide again. At the picnic, she understands that everyone grew up and continued with their lives, and that she also has the right to live without continuing to pay for a comment from the past. After that day, Cheyenne decides to treat love the way she treats makeup, with patience, without fear of making mistakes. She returns to work more calmly, accepts that her past does not define her, and, for the first time, allows herself to get excited without feeling ridiculous. Mitsuki, seeing her different, smiles because she understands that her friend did not return only with a romance, but with something more important, the ability to forgive herself and trust someone again. When Cheyenne steps away to go to the place of her old confession, she does it as a symbolic closure. She is not going to beg or repeat the humiliation. She only wants to look at the place, breathe, and let go. But the encounter happens. Soma appears with that same strange intuition that, in the story, always led him to the right place. He does not arrive with a logical explanation. He arrives with the feeling that that spot means something. Cheyenne tells him that there was a period she lived twice, that she felt his embrace, that she saw him regret things, and that she learned to let him go so she could save herself. Soma, instead of laughing, believes her with a calmness that surprises her. There, Cheyenne speaks without shrinking back. She recognizes that she loved him, that she hated him, and that even so, life brought them together again. Soma responds with the same sincerity, making it clear that he also chose her for who she is. And when they kiss, the ending does not feel like a perfect fairy tale, but like repair. Two adults who meet again after a twisted past and allow themselves to start without the shadow of school hanging over them. End of the drama.